What's up, guys? Today I'm be playing the Can You Name the Countries of the World quiz on Sporcle. So basically, you have to name all 197, I think they're all UN recognized countries in the world, in 15 minutes. So I'm gonna have future me talking over my process. I'm gonna shut up for now and just get to thinking. So enjoy. What's up, future me here? So I'm just gonna talk you through what I'm thinking and some tips and tricks on how to improve your score if you're not getting 197 yet. So what I like to do is I like to go by region. I do first North America, then South America, then Europe, and so on. It's a lot easier when, like, instead of doing random countries, when you just go through, like, knock out region by region, it makes it a lot easier. So I recommend doing that. And then so in North America, I just get out the big countries first: Canada, U.S., Mexico. Then I knock out Central America, all of the Guatemalas, El Salvador's, Belize is a hard one to remember, and then all of the Pacific Islands. Now the Pacific Island, or not the Pacific, the Caribbean, and all those islands here in the Atlantic. So that's the trickiest part of the Americas is all these little islands. But there you can do some associations to remember some. Like you have to remember that there's three countries that begin with Saint. There's Saint Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. So once you get one, you should be getting all three of those. Just easy to remember. And then also like remember Trinidad and Tobago, Bahamas, Grenada, Antigua, Barbuda. But that should be one of the trickier parts, and I don't even think it's too difficult. Like how I remember it is the U.S. men's national soccer team plays against these countries a lot. But now on to I do South America. South America is fairly easy. I think it's the easiest continent there is. You just have to remember in the northeast there's Guyana and Suriname, and then Europe. Europe I like to start off by doing Iceland, the UK, Ireland. Then I do like all the Scandinavian countries, and maybe also just put in Russia and maybe like Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia. Like those all like I always do them together because I feel like they just go together well. I associate them together in my brain, which is the easiest way to like remember some more of the difficult countries is to associate them with things. Then in Europe, I just go from west to east, like Portugal, Spain, and then just keep moving east. And then at the end, I'm gonna do the Baltics. That's the hardest part of Europe, but I don't think most people have a problem with Europe. It's one of the more well-known continents. Like most countries in there, people know like every country. So you just have to remember to not forget. Like you can't forget Serbia, like Hungary or Romania. You just have to put those all in. Kosovo, Moldova. You just have to remember them. But yeah, that isn't too bad. Just knock out all of these Baltic countries. That's definitely the hardest part of Europe is the Baltics. Then we keep moving. Now we're in Asia a little bit, and this is where I like to do the stands. So you get all the Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Just again, just associations. Like you got the stand, and then you can get like eight of them. Well, I don't know. There's 6 or 7 of them maybe, but if you get one, you get all of them. So it's an easy way to improve your score. But then after all the stands, I just throw in Mongolia. That's an easy one, and then Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenia. Those three go together nicely. They're just geographically similar, so it's easy to put them. Throw in India, Sri Lanka, and also the two islands near India, like halfway between India and Africa. Then now onto the Middle East. The Middle East isn't too difficult in my opinion. You just have to remember like the three city-states, I'd call them: Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar. The rest is pretty easy to remember. Just have to spend like a minute or two remembering all the Irans, Iraqs, Saudi Arabias, Palestine, Israel. Then onto like more mainland Asia and like all the islands. Like everyone knows China, South Korea, Japan, all those countries. But you just have to associate, like just, you have to remember there's Myanmar, Laos, and Vietnam, Cambodia, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan. You just put all those together, shouldn't be too difficult. Now, after that, difficult part is getting Brunei and Timor-Leste. Those are the two like small countries in the islands of Asia. But then after that, I think like all the Indonesias are easy to get. But I think the most difficult part now is the Pacific Islands. Like on this attempt, I breezed through the Pacific Islands, but usually they get pretty difficult. Like you have to remember Vanuatu, Palau, Nauru, Tuvalu, like Micronesia, Kiribati. It's just associations. Like once you get the Solomon Islands, you put in Marshall Islands and stuff like that. You just have to associate things together. But after the Pacific Islands, I like to do Africa. Africa, a lot of people find difficult. It does have the most countries in the world, and it usually has some like weird sounding names in Africa that aren't the easiest to remember. So yeah, you just have to associate like things together. Like a lot of African countries sound similar. Like there's the Gambia, Zambia. You can get like Zimbabwe from that. Like you just have to like associate countries together and like link them up pretty much. But also like Africa has some cool sounding names like Chad, Djibouti. It's pretty cool, you know. Then after that, uh, after those countries, it's just more association. Like you get Guinea, and then you get Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea. But then, yeah, then like I associate Djibouti with Eritrea and Somalia, and like Central African Republic with the Republic of Congo, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And then I feel like the rest of this part's pretty easy. Just remember some of these smaller countries. Also, like just go Angola is next to Namibia, which is next to South Africa, and Botswana. Lesotho and Eswatini are in South Africa. I think a lot of people know those. I think the last country here is going to be Tanzania. So it's just about like going through a couple times, memorizing some of these countries, and making those associations in your head, and yeah. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed. Not too difficult to name all the countries. Hopefully you learned something. Subscribe.